But you know, like the real are connecting.
You know.
See how Dustin here with SavLab.com and gets no realer, and we got a real special guest in the building. You know, a lot of people's favorite rapper out of Seattle right now, probably one of the hottest in the streets, hottest in years, probably since Macklemore. Raz Simone, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
That's good. I'm doing great, man.
So how you get the name Raz Simone?
I mean, that's just my name. Simone is my real last name, and it's French. And then Raz is, everybody called me, you know, Raz, because I had a raspy voice. So like when I was younger, especially, and it was just Raz. And so I thought that was cool because that's my voice, you know, in the sense of my voice, but then in the sense of, you know, voices in the writing, you know, is a writing term, and you know, so I was like, oh well, that's me, you know. I guess that's, as far as an artist wise, that's me. So you know, Raz Simone. But for my first album I dropped, you know, I called it Solomon Samuel Simone because that's my full name, and I'm not ashamed of it. I love my name. I love Solomon. I feel like that's the strongest, dopest name. I'd be a different person if I wasn't named it, you know. But yeah, so that's why it's Raz Simone.
Man, how's that new Tesla?
Oh man, it's nice. I parked in the corner where I wasn't supposed to park, so hopefully it's still good. I'll get text if it's not or some shit.
Right. Let's get right to it. Video, the last video, you said one of the lines was, "The faith keep on prospering." Can you go into that?
It's just one of those things where, I mean, whoever wins the war writes the history. Like that's how it is. Like it's always been in history. So you know, it's hard. That's when I stopped like fucking with history class because I realized that, you know, it's all, you know, it's all partial. It's all biased. You know, and I like to get the real. You know, I don't want to go and sit down and spend all this time studying something and then it wasn't real the whole time. You know, like it's hundreds of millions of Native Americans that just disappeared. You know, we don't hear all of these things, or you know, or any kind of country. You look at anything, and whoever won, like writes it. So it's been going on forever. But you look at like nowadays, like you know how I was training, like with, you know, there's like street etiquette, and there's like, you know, how to be a G, which I equate with like how to be a man. You know, and there's certain things that there's like do's and don'ts. And nowadays there's so many of those like don'ts that are do's now. You know, like when I was coming up, even a few years ago, like it wasn't cool to like be a hustler and like sniffing dope at the same time. You know, like this is weird. It wasn't even like a nigga thing to do, like from where I'm from, because you've seen your auntie and your uncle like cracked out on this shit. So you're like, nah, it's not cool. You know, like it's not cool to like snitch. You know, and then like, you know, come back around. You know, if you're a grandma and you're telling on someone that's coming in trying to rob your house, that's different. But if you're a criminal and you're committing crimes and you're telling on your friends or telling on even your enemies, like that's like a don't. You don't do that, you know. And that's just the rule. Like that's just how it is. But like things like that, like those things fly nowadays. Like there's certain other things, like, you know, like when I listen to music, I want to hear someone's story. I want to feel their passion. I want to know what they're going through.
I'm a street nigga, no backpack. I'm a nigga, no frat rap. I sold more dope than these niggas that be trying to rap that. But I'm articulate with my words and have more experience to speak on than trap rap.
You know, I don't want to hear them say someone else's story that someone else wrote for them. You know what I mean? That's like that Shakespearean play where the dude, you know, is in the bush, he's ugly, and he's talking for the cute dude. And then the dude that's handsome is, you know, talking to the girl. He's getting his game from the ugly dude in the bush. You know what I mean? Like, that's a ghostwriter to me. You know, but like all these things are like flying nowadays, and like everybody's cool with it. Like it's, you know, like, oh yeah, you know, he told, you know, he's home now, he did his time, he's cool. Like now he's out on the block, like, you know, moving. Oh yeah, no, he doesn't write his own stuff, but you know, like we just like turn a blind eye to it, like whatever, it's cool. Like, you know, all these fake things, all these injustices that are going on, and it's just okay. And you know, I really been big on justice my whole life, so I don't like that shit. And so like usually I just keep quiet, I do my own thing. I don't care about what everybody else is doing. You know, I care for people, but like I do my own thing. I'm not worried about, you know, somebody else making a mistake, because I make enough mistakes, you know. But But lately I just been on some like gun ho shit where it's like, you know, no, I'm speaking up about the shit, you know, and not just speaking, like, you know, like, you know, by any means we're getting this shit done. And I've been looking at everything like it's, you know, it's a move. If you're in the way, you know how people always say, you know, they say like whatever their thing is, you know, something or die or something or, you know, either with it or you're against it or whatever. But people just say that shit, like I actually mean that shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like I actually mean like if you're not with the shit, if you're not like over here and you're not helping us, then you're a hindrance. You know, if you're a hindrance, you need to be cut off. You know, so like that's how we're rocking right now. And we're all, you know, linked up. Even if it was just me, like everything would be, you know, it'd be cool. I'm still gonna go do my thing and knock people off. But you know, like the real are connecting. But you know, like the real are connecting. And that's what's happening. You know, it's a movement now.
Right.
You know.
Do you feel you have to be like the voice of the people because no one else is speaking out, and you kind of taking that responsibility on yourself?
I feel like I have to be the voice of the people because I was blessed with the gift to be able to speak all these different languages that I speak, and to be able to convey these messages, to be able to speak the things that are going on in people's hearts that they can't always mutter out of their mouths. And then I also feel like I have to be the voice of the people because, you know, some people aren't speaking up, and then some people are speaking up, but they're not being heard. You know, so there's a lot of people that are out here like shouting, but they don't have the outlet that I have. You know, so like through all of the work and the grind I put in, because this shit didn't come. You know, like I mean, it's just I'm just me. Like it's not like I'm like extra famous or anything like that. But like even what I have right now, like I worked hard for, you know, and I grinded for, and put hundreds of thousands of dollars into my, you know, into myself. Not even like into advertisement, just into making quality music, and you know, and like sitting there getting around to all the places and trying to impress them on my CDs and trying to give them to people, like, you know, doing all that stuff, you know. So and then buying all the recording equipment, buying all the video equipment, you know, getting cameras, getting, you know, helicopters and crazy shit like that, and trying to create the best experience for you because I care, you know. It's like spend all that time in doing that, and now I have this platform and it's growing. So you know, it's a responsibility that comes with the power that I've created and I've been blessed with. So you know, I have to do what I have to do, but there definitely are other voices, and that's the thing I want to, you know, that's one of my major goals, is to make sure those other voices are heard.
Right.
You know, it's not just me.
Now, you being from the Central District, can you tell us a little bit what it was like growing up there?
I got to experience a lot of different places. I've been all over the place, you know, like been all up and down. You know, like I've been in Seattle a bunch, but I've been all up and down Atlanta, Chicago, you know, Detroit, like everywhere. And so I got to experience a lot of different things. And same with Seattle, like I got to experience everything. I was, you know, out on Aurora by the track, you know, with all the prostitutes and pimps, you know, out in West Seattle with all the guys out that way, South, you know, everywhere. So like I kind of got to experience everything, White Center, you know, everything. And so I love my city in general, and I've always prided myself on, you know, like the fact that the earth is my turf, being able to go around anywhere, you know. But like, you know, when you're kind of frequenting one area, and when you know all your people are from a certain area, you're from there, then you kind of, you know, you get sucked into that, you know, and you're kind of like, and then it's, you know, and then that's where you're from, and that's what it is, you know, and then that comes down to like some street shit, you know. But so I just, you know, I say where I'm from just to make sure people don't think it's some like, oh, you're scared to say where you're from because it's a controversial like area, or controversial block or whatever. But you know, but I consider I rock with everybody, you know, and that's crazy because most people from my block don't even rock with each other, you know. So let alone they definitely don't fuck with other people like that, you know. So but my thing is, I feel like we have a lot more power, especially when like factors can get together, and like people that have been, you know, out doing the dirt and doing the things, and like the least of these and the worst of, you know, of them, when they can link together and they show the camaraderie, then that like speaks volumes to everybody else that looks up to them. It's like that. So, you know, my thing is like, you know, I mean, there's a certain point when you get older and you have kids, or you just have a little bit of wisdom, you know, about yourself, or, you know, like when you like, I mean, when you like really feel this shit, like you have to kill someone, or like you go to, you know, you do a couple years in prison, or, you know, you get in and out of jail, like almost, you know, dodging bullets a bunch, you know, a bunch, you know, or even just feeling a bullet whiz by you, or, you know, or anything like that. There's a point where you're like, this is not what I want to do, you know what I mean? Or like, I don't want this type of turbulence, you know? like I'm gonna protect mine, but I don't want to start turbulence. And then especially being like in, I mean, well, any city, honestly, in America, you know, you go down to the downtown of that city, or you go like uptown to this, you know, to this area, and it's nothing like what you're dealing with over here. So it's like this small little area of fuck shit. You know what I mean? So, you know, you realize you're like, that's not what I want to have to do. And like me, I'm you know, I'm a runner. Like I'm a traveler. I go and experience everything. I've been everywhere, you know, in the U.S. So like, you know, I'm not one to just sit and die in some, you know, little area. But you also want to, you know, take care of the people in the area and the least of these and stuff like that. You know, so I mean, it's definitely, it's weird, you know, and especially with like all the gentrification here, like it happens everywhere. Like when I'm in Brooklyn, you see it, but like you really feel it here because it's such a smaller area, and we already have less people of certain demographics already, like, you know, so it's like you feel it when, you know, when like 90% of the people are taken away, like, you know, so so you got that, and then it just kind of makes it so that the problem just kind of like dials in on people, because now it's just this smaller amount of people that are, you know, that are beef with each other and stuff like that. And it's so weird to think, like, you look at Seattle nowadays compared to like 10 years ago, it seems like, oh, it's like all cleaned up in like certain areas that might have been a little gritty, like yada yada yada, but then like it's not. Like you go back through, and it's not. Like I'll fool myself sometimes. I'll go out of town, I'll be like, oh man, I'll come back, I'm like, man, Seattle's so different, everything's so clean and nice, pristine or whatever. And then I'll go and I'll get all the calls, or then I'll go and I'll see some shit, or, you know, whatever, and you realize, nah, it's like all like that, but then it's still like it's all kinds of fucked up at the same time. And so it's even like more insult to injury, because it's like the city's all you know, kind of cleaned and kind of, you know, like all of the, like a lot of the soul is taken out of it. But then, you know, usually you think, okay, well maybe it might be for the better because it's more peaceful. But then it's like not. It's like, you know, the soul's taken out of it, and then it's still turbulent for the people that were affected, you know, by it, and even more so, like statistically, the shooting rates are rising and stuff like that, which is weird because it doesn't look like that from the outside.
If I want it, I'll take it. Nah, if I want it, I'll make it. I'm creator. My life is a painting, building and breaking with the skill of a mason. I don't really be praying, but yesterday, sitting up a prayer now.
I look at all those things. So trap spirituals, you know, it's like, again, it's like what the Negro spirituals did, and what, you know, reggae did, and what, you know, hip hop when it started out did for all those people. It's the same thing that, you know, I feel like the trap is doing for, you know, the least of these now. You know, where it's, you turn that on and you vibe out, and it does that for you. You know, and it's that thing. It's like a drug or whatever. You know, it's the heartbeat of the people. So, you know, like, these are our Negro spirituals right now. You know, we're trapped. We're, you know, still slaves. You know, there's more black men locked up in chains nowadays than there was back in slavery. So it's crazy. So like looking at those parallels and drawing from that, you know, from the heart of it, from the technical of it, you know, that's why I arrived with the name Trap Spirituals. 2 niggas got shot down my block today. I was just trying to get this guap today. I'm glad I got 2 new extendos for my Glock today. In my career, you're lucky if you get to walk away. Few of my niggas is bloods, cause that's hot today. Most of my niggas is G's because my block's the A. This black umbrella shit is real, you can't stop the wave. My niggas wild, we have not been trained. They just know if they see the nigga then popping things. I still put that crack in the pot like I dropped the egg. I'm used to having nothing, nigga, I do not complain. I lay on the ground 80 days before I drop and beg. I'm one of a kind, we are not the same. My car's electric, but it's got lots of range. I bought a few extended clips, I don't got to aim. I can rhyme a few things next, but all I got to say is put that bread before most things. Always have respect for the dope fiends. When you in the field, my nigga, don't blink. Yeah, that's all I got right now.
Yesterday I sitting up a prayer. It was selfish, I was in the man. Looking at my good features. Looking like a baby Jesus.
Dad, you made that Grace your bitch.
Again, it's Raz Simone. Yeah. We're out here. Sav Lab, it gets no realer.